Hello everybody, welcome to Wednesday's edition of the Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show, and we've got lots to talk about today, so let's get straight into it. And the first story, no sooner had I dropped the video on Monday night with the news in it saying that Eddie Soens race, the big race here in the UK, the season opener in the UK, was not going ahead. No sooner had those words come out of my mouth that people started messaging me saying that the Eddie Soens is back on. So great, yay! Made me look like a dick though, didn't it? And not only that, it's amazing that it's on. But the man behind the rejuvenation and the saviour of the Eddie Soens, no less than our man Brian Rigby. Brian, you know Brian from Cam's Vlogs.
How many attempts is now, Brian? About eight or nine?
Lost count. I've not got enough fingers and I'm from Wigan.
Now you may know him from Cam's Vlogs, however I know him from our Friday nights together when I used to smash him to pieces at Track League. So yeah, Brian is the saviour when it comes to the Eddie Soens race. And a little bit of an exclusive for you, he is going to be on our first podcast this weekend. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to come Friday, potentially Saturday, depending if me and Cam pull our fingers out. But me, Cam and Brian are all gathering somewhere secret for the weekend to do something totally irrelevant, but I thought we may as well record the first podcast with Brian to get his take on the British cycling racing scene, because he's invested in it clearly. He's obviously brought new sponsors in to save the Eddie Soens, so it's going to be interesting to get Brian's point of view on not only the Eddie Soens but the whole racing scene here in the UK. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel and make sure you subscribe to all those podcast places you need to be to make sure you get Brian's exclusive chat on the Eddie Soens. And it doesn't look like the Eddie Soens is the only race in jeopardy this year. The biggest race on the calendar here in the UK is the Lincoln GP, and they tweeted out this morning. Was the 2019 the last Lincoln Grand Prix? Question mark. And if you follow that link through, there's a press release from the Lincoln Grand Prix that say, we sincerely hope the Lincoln GP will run its 65th edition in 2020 and will do everything we can to make this happen. However, as with all of the UK racing calendar, we are under increasing pressure of rising costs, surprise, surprise, in order to make sure the event is run safely. And after 3 great years with Chestnut Homes, the housing market has slowed due to Brexit and the election, and they are unable to support the event in 2020. Down at the bottom there it says, if the Lincoln Grand Prix is of interest to you or someone you may know, a sponsorship pack can be downloaded here. So out of interest, I just downloaded that sponsorship pack and I've had an amazing idea. So the Lincoln Grand Prix are putting together bespoke sponsorship packages from 500 quid to £20,000. And I was thinking, could we do anything? Could we set up a tiny little GoFundMe and all just chip in like a quid, try and raise like £500, try and get a space on the barriers somewhere poignant within the race, and just get all our names just plastered all over it? Because you know, if you live in Britain, if you've been to the Lincoln Grand Prix, you will know just what a spectacle it is, just how amazing that atmosphere is, just how amazing the race is. And to see the biggest you know that the UK racing scene is in massive trouble if the biggest race within the UK, barring Tour de Yorkshire, Tour of Britain, Tour Series is on its arse a little bit, but barring all those races, the homegrown races here in the UK, Lincoln GP is by far the biggest. It's the one that all the UK pros want to win, and a lot of pros from abroad come over and also try and target it. And if that's struggling, then there's no hope. There's absolutely no hope. But what do you think? Shall we do something? Shall we try and get a little spot on the barrier? I mean, if I had the money, I'd do it. I'd just have it saying, Chris Pritchard is amazing on the barrier. But I don't have any money, so. Anyway, let's talk racing news. And the only racing news really going off right at the minute is obviously Australian Nationals. The time trials happened and Rowan Dennis didn't win. The win went to Luke Durbridge. So Mitchelton Scott's Durbo pulled clear of his rivals to finish 18 seconds ahead of Rowan Dennis in second position. And in third place, rounding out a World Tour top 3 for the Australians, was Jumbo-Visma's new signing, Chris Harper. He took bronze and he was 1 minute and 53 seconds behind. At the halfway point of the race, Durbridge and Rowan Dennis were virtually identical in times before Durbridge eked out his winning margin in the last half of the race. In the ladies' race, Sarah Gigant Gigant, sorry Sarah, I'm saying Gigante, of Tibco SVB. She finished the course in 42 minutes and 41 seconds with an average speed of 40.203 kilometers an hour. 9 seconds down from her in second place was Grace Brown at Mitchelton Scott, and in third position taking the bronze medal was Emily Herfoss at 11 seconds down, only 2 seconds down from Grace Brown. Next up, and some big news if you're in the market for buying a power meter, Stagers have dramatically reduced their prices on crank-based power meters. So now a Shimano 105 version of their single-armed crank power meter is going to set you back £299. Previous to this, they retailed for £429. And at the other end of the spectrum, if you're a dual race rider, you can get a Stagers crank arm for £939, reduced from £1,199. A great gateway and great opportunity to start power-based training if you've never been a power-based person, even if you're just a recreational rider. I've found it life-changing. Life-changing? It's definitely improved my engagement within my cycling, and it's given me a better understanding of what I'm capable of, how long I'm capable of that for, and it's just nice looking at numbers, isn't it? Grab yourself a cheap power meter. Tell them Pritchard sent you. Next up, Danny MacAskill has dropped a brand new video over on the Red Bull YouTube channel, and oh my god.
Well, can I join the gym, please?
If you want to go and see the full version of that, link down in the description. but I've got no words for it. If you want to see the full version of that, pop down in the link in the description, leave a comment saying Danny MacAskill's good, Chris Pritchard's better. Next up, and we're going to finish off with some e-sports / e-racing news as well, this feels like the start of the indoor season. Everything prior to Christmas, there's a lot of people still riding outdoors. Not enough people have committed to indoor riding, but it seems that like January is the point where the weather really turns here in the UK, here in Europe, and across in America as well, and we're finding more and more riders heading indoors. So I thought this little section I'd dedicate to everything indoors related. And let's start with the big gun, Zwift. So Zwift have just announced the Tour de Zwift 2020, running all the way from January 12th to February 16th. All the worlds, all the fun, all of us. I hope it's going to be slightly better than Tour de Watopia, I think it was last year, when there were moments where it was brilliant. I had a huge amount of fun riding it, but there are also times when I think, what the hell are they doing? So yeah, they're going to be visiting all the worlds: Watopia, Richmond, London, Innsbruck, New York, and Bologna. Now these have been around, well, by the looks of it, since December the 12th. However, I didn't realise until I saw the update notes today that off-road training plans are now available. So there's new off-road focused training plans on Zwift geared towards the type of efforts you can expect whilst riding the dirt. There's the Pebble Pounder, all right, Gravel Grinder. These sound a little bit dirty. Well, here we go. Dirt Destroyer, my nickname back in school, and the Single Track Slayer. So these plans have been specifically built around those kind of efforts that you will see when you're riding on gravel and when you're riding off-road. So those probably more intense efforts, but obviously a lot shorter. One thing that annoyed me about this is that you don't ride them off-road, you just ride them on the road bike, and I thought that would be a perfect opportunity to get people on the, you know, the Future Works course. Just let them ride around there, no steering, just let them take them around there, then back around the tarmac and then down again. I think another opportunity missed by Zwift, just having that. We're focusing our off-road effort and our off-road plans around off-road, so let's put them off-road. Next up, and I really don't know how much I should be telling you about this, but hey, once I've said it, I can't unsay it. Can't unring that bell, can you? But earlier in the week, I spoke to the man behind Veloton, and it appears that Veloton is almost ready for open beta. That's all I can say. I mean, that's nothing that anybody that's been following it doesn't already know, but it is now imminent. Those people that have been sat there patiently waiting for it, you're like me, I just want to get on it and I just want to test it out again, because I rode it in FIBO and it was brilliant. I loved every single moment of it. It was just a breath of fresh air. And there's more that they're going to implement in it. Don't want to spoil it all. But yeah, Veloton is on its way. CV Arcade are about to start their winter CVR World Cup. Now the autumn one was a great success for the people involved in it. There was $25,000 worth of prize purse, and I don't know if this is true, I could just be making this up, but I believe that the prize purse might be slightly bigger next time. If not, it's going to be the same. The winner took home $5,000. This is for a competition that's still in beta. And I jumped on CV Arcade last night because I've not been on it for a long time. I wanted to see how the graphics have evolved, how the gameplay's evolved, how terribly unfit I am on CV Arcade, and I loved it. Listen, I'm a positive guy, so there are bits that annoy me on it, mainly me being rubbish. And then the final news in this e-racing stroke e-riding stroke e-indoors is that I am scheduled to lead some group rides on Zwift in February. Stay tuned for those. They're not mine. Hopefully going to be working with a partner on board with those, and it should be fun. I'll see if we can get some free product as well to give away to somebody, as long as you're over 18. And that's the news for today. Could be a short one. I've not edited it yet, so I don't know. If it was a short one, apologies, not much to talk about. If it was a long one, sorry for keeping you here for so long. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know when we go live with our live streams. Don't know what's happening with the subscribers at the minute, but everybody seems to be committing to subscribing to the channel, so really appreciate it. If you've not done it already, took a fat one and do it. I'm streaming tomorrow night as well. Easy now.